So Air is now available for smartphones, Android 2.2, 2.3, and Android 3, also tablets. So the Motorola Zoom has Air available on the Android marketplace. The BlackBerry Playbook that will be launched very soon is based on Air. Okay? So every time you will see there are a lot of applications that are based on Air, and Flex is the first choice for developing an application on the Playbook. And now also Air can be used on the iPad, the iTouch, and the iPhone. What you need to understand is that we package your application and we place the Air runtime inside your application so that it can become an IPA, okay? Like a native application that you can deploy on the Apple Store. So what about Flex? Would ask my friend James. So yesterday we just announced Flex 4.5. Okay, this is the last release of the Flex framework. And inside Flex, we now have this new architecture to describe what is a component. So this new architecture is named Spark. With Spark, now you have on the left a class that will describe the behavior of your component, how to access the data, and in another class, a separate class, you will describe the skin, the visual appearance of your component. So now we need to go on mobile devices. Imagine a list, for instance. A list component on the desktop will have a scroll bar on the right, okay? And you will use your mouse or the keyboard to interact with this scroll bar. On a mobile device, you just use your finger, okay? It's just using a swipe gesture, you will scroll the list. So now, thanks to this new architecture, we just provide a new set of skins for your application, for your components, so that you can use it on mobile devices and leverage all the touch events. So with Flex 4.5, you can continue developing classic Flex applications, of course, but we also introduce a new architecture for mobile applications that I will detail, or tabbed mobile application, which is just another way to navigate through the views. So what is the new mobile application architecture? So we consider that 80% of the mobile applications have the same user experience. For instance, if you want to have a mobile application and look at your directory, you will have a first view with a list of all the employees in this case. And then you will select an employee and you will load a new view with the details about this employee. So if I click on an item, I will push a new view. And the first view will be destroyed in memory, okay, for just regarding optimization. And if you press the back button, then the view will be created again, and this one, the details view, will be destroyed. The only thing that is persisted in memory automatically by the framework is the data. Okay, so you just load the data once. You can send a subset of your data to a view, and then you can go back, etc., etc. And all the transitions, everything will be managed by default by the framework. Of course, you can extend it, you can optimize it, but in 5 minutes, you can produce an application. Also, we provide a new component, so the action bar is the top of your application to navigate with the title, with navigation content on the left, and action content, for instance, a search button on the right. And just using XML in a few lines of code, you can declare this kind of navigation. And here are all the components that are already skinned for mobile devices. So radio buttons, a scroller, text input fields, etc. Also, you will have to deal with a lot of screen resolutions and screen densities. So directly within the framework, and I really like this feature, you can say, I will develop a mobile application optimized for 160 dpi. And if your application is executed on a 240 dpi device, it will automatically, Flex will scale for you all the components, all the layout by 1.5. Okay? The size of the text, everything, so that you can use it on this device. Also, you can tell Flex that you want to use for an icon multiple densities for a bitmap. So if I am running on a 160 dpi device, I want to use this bitmap, 240 this bitmap, etc. So now you can target Android tablets. I mean, today it's ready. BlackBerry Playbook, we are just waiting for the product because it's not launched. So I'm very lucky because I have one on the booth, but it's not in the market yet. And iOS tablets, which is new. Okay, this is maybe the first time I'm announcing it publicly. Because Apple didn't want us to produce applications for iOS, okay? But they had to go back. Okay? They had to say, actually they said, we listened at our users and now you can produce applications. I think that they listened at their lawyers, but that's something. Yeah. So now it's available. So a demo, okay. Yeah. So I'm really starting from scratch. I will just try to see if I'm connected. I hope so. Yeah, okay, so let's try to build an application in 5 minutes. So first, here I can say that I want to build a Flex mobile project. Okay, so let's say JAX client using Flex 4.5. Okay, good. Here you can say I want to target BlackBerry, Google Android, and we will add iOS in the next release, in the next update. So I will say Android for this one and finish. So here's my first view, and I want to build a Twitter search client. Okay, so on the first view, I just want to add a text input field. The name is search field. And 100% width, okay. Then I need to interact with the Twitter REST API. So I will use, because I don't have time to declare everything, so I will use the IDE to say I want to communicate with the Twitter API. So here is the URL. We just copy paste it. We'll call it Twitter search. And the parameter is Q for query. I click on finish. So it will generate some ActionScript code for me to call this service. I will also configure the return type, so it will introspect the service. And it will guess that here is the result. So I will call it, this is a Twitter result. This is just generating a value object on the client side. Okay? It's the same mechanism with all the Java services that you want to expose to your Flex application. So I will search for something. I want to generate a service call. Okay. Boom. Okay. So if I call operation 1, it will call this service. Now I will type something and I will press enter. So when I press enter, I want to generate an event handler and call the service. So operation 1. And I want to look for the content of my search field. Good. So now, when I've got a result, I will receive an event because it is an asynchronous call, and I want to push a new view with the result. So first, I need to build this view. So you just say in your project, I want to build a new view that will be, let's say, a results view. Okay. The title of the view, results, and I just want to declare a list. Okay, 100% by 100%. I give a name. And the data provider, in this case, will be the data provided by the previous view. Okay, I will show you how to push it. And the label field, let's say, just the content of the tweet for the moment. Okay, so if I go back to the first view, when I receive the result from Twitter, I just need to say that in my navigator, which is a new object, I want to push a new view that are the results, and I want to pass some data, so what is coming from Twitter. Now, what is interesting is that when you run it, you can have the different targeted platforms, and you can emulate it directly within the tool, okay? You don't need to have the device, but you can also directly test it on the device. Okay, with Android, it's very easy. You just have to plug it with a USB cable. And you can debug it on the device. So you can add breakpoints into your code and then debug it playing with the device. But here, I don't have time, so I just point it here. So if I press Adobe, I press Enter, and boom, I have my results. If I can go back, JAX London, press Enter, and I've got the results. If I want to have a better user experience, I can use what we call an item renderer. So how I want to render a tweet. So it will be my item renderer. The label field will be the text. The message field, or let's say that I want to display the name of the user. So I know the Twitter API by heart, so that's why I can fill it. And this one I don't remember, so it's okay. I'll take FUFO. And I have somewhere, where is it? Show view. A test operation, test operation.